name is Adegbola Bidemi, and with me is my wife,
Adegbola, and we are so excited to be sharing our love story on Debby and Vic channel.
how we met. How do we meet?
You go first.
Okay. Okay. I met her at a program first. Actually, some years ago. That's 2015. I was at a church program, and I saw her. In fact, when I first saw her, I was surprised. Like, wow. So that's how I met her, and we had a couple of conversations. She did not even remember. And after that, we went back, and we never saw until maybe I think 6 months later, 4 later, saw each other again. Where in that place we're having a special program. It was a campus program. So I was in choir unit, she was in choir unit too. I was singing bass while she was in Auto. Yeah, I think Auto. Yeah.
Yeah, for that program.
So I remember I didn't know how it happened. I just saw that our eyes just met, just once. And for funness, I felt, who is this person? And of course, I was like, who is this person? I wanted to know, but I had no time because we were very busy, and it went like that. And a few months later, I needed to go to the campus where she was to continue my school then. And from there, I got to know her physically. I began to talk, and then I got to know more about her.
Okay, that's yes. But for me, I met you via a phone call that day. I can't remember vividly what the call was about. I mean, that period was about, but then I know that it was around that time when I think MTN was giving people free credit or so. But although you told me that it was not MTN giving free credit, it was always you having much credit on your phone. But okay, that was what I remember anyway. So MTN was giving people free credit, and there was this friend of mine that was in his hostel in school that time. So she wanted to reach out to me and just say hello to me. You know, people were calling a lot of people that time. So she called me and she was like, I'm using a brother's phone to call you. I should not call the person back. And she was like, she wanted to greet me and say hello, and that was how she dropped the call. And I was like, okay, you called me the brother's number, I should not call back, no problem. So now I picked the call and I waited the call and everything went. So later on, I saw the number call me back, and I was like, is it my friend? So I even exactly picked the call, like, okay, hi, this and this, how are you? And only to hear a male's voice, like, hello, I'm Bidemi. I'm like, Bidemi, what do you want? I was like, my friend called. No, he said he was going through his contact phone call list and saw my number. I was like, how did we get there? Okay, let me remind you. My friend used your phone to call me earlier, and like that. Was like, yes, he's aware that he just wished to know more about me.
Not
like,
that place, not that place.
Really?
Yeah, when I said someone used my phone, I saw missed call my phone, so I now called those numbers back. So when I called back, I called you too.
Yeah.
And I said it was actually Phoebe that used my phone to call you. So I was like, okay, why you now mention your name? I was like, okay, we now got to talk, and that's that.
Yeah. So we said we exchanged. No, he asked me about my course, like that, and yeah, that's how.
So having met and known each other, the question now is that how did I know that she's the one meant for me? Before I met her, in fact, approximately a year before I met her, I was at the backyard, that 2014. I was just playing in our house, and I just got the glimpse, and I saw myself and with the sister that later was supposed to be my wife, and then with the brother, what's it called, someone driving, and then a family member. In fact, the two of them were family members. So I As I was playing, I just got that survive. And that place, like a trance, just real life. I wasn't even sleeping. I was awake. I was standing up. So I saw that I had the scotch cast on my leg that I had an accident, and it was very funny. How possible would this be? So it happened. That was June that year. About August. Is August not too much now? August of 2 or 3 months later. That was in August. I had an accident, a serious one. That, and I was able to survive the accident through the help of God. And life continued. I gained admission. I was in school, and so I went to school with that scotch with the accident leg or the affected leg, and the courses to go for registration. So after the registration, I got back home, and I was reminded of that. Is it trans I call it now? And I was like, wow, I don't even know anybody there and whatever. And funny thing, I've never even met her before. I've not seen her before. It was so funny. So when I resumed school, my campus was in a college. Ours was in Oye there. So all my year, first year, I spent it in a college. The following year, I was to go to what's it called? A college to start to continue my course. And from there, I got to know her. And when I saw her immediately, I saw two people that looked like her. Had the same stature. So I tried to, my own way anyway, to know, okay, if they actually met, because I was given her age and all that. So the other person, when I said this is not from, because the age was far away. As a matter of fact, I was far away. So I knew it was someone. But I just continued my life, and all along we later got to meet to become friends after a while. In a couple of years, I got to know about her, and I was reminded of the dream. I thought, wow. Of course, even though I still have some doubts here and there, and because of preference and all the likes, but within me, I was just, each time I wanted to do my own way or go my own way, I wasn't allowed. If I remember at the time, I prayed. I said, God, let this thing go, Joe. I was asked a question then, and I've never given God that prayer, because I know I was praying, and because I understand something. I didn't want to miss it in the area of marriage. That's one of my goals in life. So I told God. I was even fasting. Like I remember, I said I wanted to go on 3 days fasting and prayer. On the first day, in the evening, I was just praying. I was singing, I think, Nathan Base's song. I was just recounting God's goodness and all that. And I had words, why are you praying? Why are you disturbing me? Like, I wanted another person, not and I was asked the question. Said, do you want another person? And I could not answer the question. I just went to it. And everything just ended there. And a couple of years later, I think about a year later, I went to DMC, and here we are today. Husband and wife.
So sweet.
So how did I was doing?
How did I know you were doing?
Yeah.
Okay, actually, there is this thing that after we got talking after that phone call, he always asked me this question. Like, he started acting as my spiritual mentor. So he was always asking me some questions. Like, at that time, he used to have some leading towards me in form of dreams, sometimes visions. So sometimes he sees me in school and he asks me like, he tells me those things in parable-like form. So he just tells me, and I become confused. Like, what is this brother always saying? Why are you always spiritualizing the whole world? So it was not making sense to me. But each time I meet him like that and we have that kind of discussion or that kind of conversation, I get home and something in me starts asking me that who is he? Like, and that particular question, I could not answer it because it always comes very strong. So one day I said, anytime he sees me and you have that kind of conversation, I'm going to ask him directly that, what's your mission in this my life? Like, what do you want? So that day I met him on the road, and he had been saying he wanted to see me for a while. So I just told him that, okay, yeah, he met me and he said he wanted to see me. So we got talking on that road, and he said some things, and I asked him, who are you? And he said, who do I think he is? That thing just trivial balance. I got home that day because I was living with two of my sisters, that were also like my school mothers. So I told them about it, that there is this brother is always disturbing me, he's always doing this, always doing that. That what do I think like he's up to? So they now said, "Ah, since he's not showing any sign of anything, that I should just feel it's spiritual, like he's just after my spiritual life, that I should not attach any meaning to it. And then some brothers can be like that, maybe they're after something." So that even got me angry, because they even mentioned that part, and I was actually thinking about it, that okay, maybe he's interested in me. But another thing is, around that time I dedicated my life to God, and I wanted to be so serious with God that I did not want not even a man, a woman to come in between me. So that time I met him was that period, and I was laying a lot of brothers, guys off. So I wanted to lay him off. But when those my sisters mentioned that to me, I just said, okay, confirmation, no wahala, just go your way. So I started praying kind of, but I was not too serious with marital prayer like that. So I just continued my life until around 2016 in church. Some persons, more like our leaders in church, they just called me at, I think, 2 or 3 different times. It was just kind of very close that period, and they just told me at different times that I should take my spiritual life my marital life very seriously and start praying. That they told me something like, I'm going to be great, I'm going to be kind of popular, and I might have issues with choosing who I will be married to, because there will be a lot of suitors coming in and I will be confused. So when those two people said it at different times, I was like, wow, I don't want to be confused though. But the way I took marriage at that point, and the way we are always taught, I feel like it's a very, very gigantic mountain that you have to use like in 7 days to pray and bind and get to know who the person is. So I resolved in my mind that since this kind of advice is coming, let me separate or set aside this like 7 days to do a prayer and fasting to know who I will marry. So that time I was in school, but I was going to go to for my high tea the following semester. So I said that semester I'm going to be off church, no brother, I'll not be seeing any sister. It's going to just be me. I'll be home, like I'll be in a very, it will be like a solitary place. So I will have time of activities and everything. So I had planned that when I go for IT, I will do that prayer. So one of the days while I was on IT that time, I woke up one morning and I was very bothered about it. Like I kind of remembered what those people told me, and I was like, God, I don't want to be confused. I don't want to have problems with choices. I don't want to see different. So I just said I was going to pray, and that morning I just prayed the prayer. But then God gave me a verse of the scripture that was like it was in Ecclesiastes, and it didn't even like it wasn't talking about anything in marriage. I think 9 verse 10 like that. I didn't understand what it meant, and I just prayed. But somehow that turbulence in my spirit was kind of settled after that prayer. So later on, I was like, you see this ITO, I must know who the person is. And if I don't even know it, like let me just have a direction, so that at least when anybody is coming, I can know what to give the answer to give the person. So a few days later, one day I woke up in the morning again. I was about to go to work. I was about to sleep that time. When I prayed again, I was having that serious I was just disturbed in my spirit about it. So I prayed, and I didn't get a definite answer. So the following morning, that was when I now woke up and I like, okay, you see this day, no work, I'm just going to settle this. So that day I prayed, and God directed me to Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 12. Verse 12 or 12 verse 10. Okay, it was about the children of Israel and how God told them He was giving them rest from all their problems and everything. Meanwhile, in December 2016, I was in the room back then in school. That day when I saw like a trance, I saw his name, Adegbola Tijani Boyoluwa. But because I used to know him as Bidemi, and yeah, he's Adegbola Tijani. But then that Moyoluwa got me confused, because I'm like, I don't know anybody that is that are answering that name. And in fact, that day I was not even praying. I was just lying down on my bed. And when he came, I was just disturbed my spirit. The first thing I did that day was take my phone and go to Facebook. I was looking for the person buried that name, but I didn't see any. The person I saw, the person did not even. I've never met the person in my life. It was not even my Facebook friend. So I was like, no, it cannot be you. But the person was not even Moyoluwa. It was just Adegbola, I think Tijani and one other name. So that was I just took my mind off it. So while I was having that prayer that morning, I felt it so strongly in my spirit after that verse that I had answered your prayer long ago.
Do you remember you called me? You once called me, said, do I bear Mulu? I was like, Muluwa.
Yeah,
I said that was very strange.
I think it should be around those period when I was.
And I said, I have some news that whenever they call me, even if I will be surprised if I bear that name. I think that.
Yeah. But it's very, very possible I called you because that day I was not actually praying about marriage. I was not praying, but I wanted to just know why I saw that name. Like, what was it about? It's like, I can't relate. Is it Marital? No, it cannot be Marital because I just assured myself that I was not praying that day now. So God can only talk to you when you are praying. So that was how that one went. And that day when I got it, very strong in my spirit, I just told God that because I was struggling with the fact that it's too spiritual. You know these spiritual brothers now. I always disturb your life with how is your spiritual life, how is your prayer life, how is your quiet time, and just always disturbing me. So oh God, why they look me like that now? Okay, so that morning after I was done with the prayer, I said I didn't go to work, so my phone was off. So I now told God that I know you have confirmed with Bible. You have referred me to what I saw in 2016. You referred me to it in 2017. Okay, perfect deal. But I don't want this brother. Anyways, you want to confirm to me. Immediately I switched on my phone. Let him be the first person that will call me. Before then we had been friends, we had been talking and like that. I said it was always disturbing me about spiritual stuff. So I felt that okay, that morning I just wanted to test God and say if he calls me, that means he's the one, like the confirmation to my prayer. So I switched on my phone, I think like around 11-12 that day. And immediately I switched on the phone that day, God, his call came in. I was so angry. God, I was like, I know that you've been talking to me, but I don't want. Call came in, I picked it, and I was so excited in my spirit. I was like, okay, I'm going to ask him this question. I've been trying the number before. If you had been trying, I was just like, it's because I just on it. That's why it came in. That's why I asked him, brother, have you been trying my number before? He said, no, he just picked the phone that day, and that was when he called me. God, I don't even know what to say. Just pick it, okay, thank you. We talked, and he dropped the call, and
actually that day, I was acting the position of a capacity of a GC, so I started to call all our brethren on IT. So how it happened, I don't know. Maybe I think God has my interest in that.
Of course. Okay, so that was the beginning of how I knew he was the one, and along the line, because I was struggling with the fact that I didn't want somebody that is spiritual, and then we always having conflict of interest, conflict of preferences, conflict of so many things that I felt like, see, this thing cannot work. We are just deceiving ourselves. But later on, I had to just reconfigure my mindset, reconfigure my brain about him, about marriage, about so many things, just for me to accept it. And we had a lot of challenges while doing that. So that's going to take us to the next one.
Okay. So having proposed, I proposed to her. That should be February last year, 2022. That's February 13.
Yeah. Yeah. February 13. After my book launch.
Yeah. I just gave her those statements or that statement. That was what I saw myself. What I used on a number of occasions, maybe in my dream or whatever, to propose to her. And as I had it then, I gave it to her verbatim. And on the spot, with the help of God, she gave me a yes. No going to pray and all that. We just settled it once and for all, and we moved on. We saw the consent of our parents, and we saw the consent. The church gave us a go ahead. We had our courtship, and we were married. But then, during the period of courtship till we got married, we had challenges, of course. No relationship or no organization is without a challenge. One of those challenges was job. Before that time, okay, a year before that time, I was working. Then I had an accident again, and I lost job. So for the period of 1 year, I was not working. Though I was doing my masters at University of Ibadan then, and she was doing her masters there. So
she's married.
Yeah. So she's always chasing me around. No, we went to the same school for undergraduate and we did our masters together in the same school. You're chasing me. You're chasing me. Because my school was my state. I came to my state, so you were chasing me up and down. All right.
Let me tell you about my lineage.
Forget about that one. So it just happened. Maybe we've been following each other up and down. We served in the same state as well. And I don't know.
What is the fight?
So it's actually been a lovely love story, actually. So I proposed to her, even without job. At that instance, both of us. I don't know what she saw, but I believe she saw the future ahead. And through the help of God and by faith, she accepted the offer, and we started our journey. No job, and I think a week later, I got a job, and it was just a leap of faith, because we cannot even explain. I went for an interview somewhere, and I was expecting myself to get the job, like it was a done deal. I don't know what happened over there. I was not given the job, and one of those recruiter, they just said, okay, we have this job for you, and that was how God did this. And no interview again. I just went there and I took the offer. And from there, I had to go to Lagos, and she was in Ibadan, Nigerian life. And so the second challenge was distance. I have to come, so sometimes I have to go from from Lagos to Ibadan. Of course, she cannot be traveling to look for me. So I go around as the guy. I must make the effort, the sacrifice, because our women's body is very fragile, and we need to treat them as things. So I said to be traveling. Of course, I'll go, I'll come. Then originally was a long distance relationship, of course. So we talk about the phone, do video calls, godly video calls. No, nothing, just video calls, talk, our plans. So nothing. Okay. So because we're always conscious that our body is the temple of God. So and nobody intending couples has any right to have access to the body of the partner, supposed partner, until they are legally married. So we understood that right from time, and we kept by that. And so we kept talking, and along the line, I think sometime, we did a PC, parental consent, around March.
Yeah.
So our parents gave us the go ahead to get married to each other, and then in April, May, I think in May, she got an offer in Abuja, and so that means
long distance relationship, long distance.
From long distance relationship to longer distance relationship.
Oh,
so she had to go to Abuja. We needed money, so just needed to take that decision. It wasn't an easy decision, but then you just have to take it, hoping that God will do something. In fact, I remember I said, just go. That before we finish, something will come out. And so she went there, and before we know it, not even up to a month. God changed everything. I got another offer around this place, and I have to just finish the whole month, give them a signature letter, and wait for I think 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because of 2 weeks of notice. So after that, she came down to Southwest again, and go ahead with her planning for the wedding. And the planning, we didn't have money, but we had God. We had challenges, like real. In fact, at a point in time, people advise us, why don't move this thing by 6 months? We're like, no. Very close, and we're like, I remember at the time I was even being the person that I've been pushing. Okay, let's do it by faith. At the time I got almost discouraged. I said, no, you that have been saying this by faith, so you are not giving up, and she challenged me. Said I was like listening with, okay, see this, and this are yet to be met, and so we started by faith now. It's you that shouldn't be encouraging me. I didn't want to tell that already. I was getting tired, and God did it. We had our wedding. In fact, I don't know. In fact, to the end that all our vendors, we paid them extra. Like, God just so much did this. In fact, it's not that we sat down one day, we were just looking at what we spent, and we're like, how? Like how? And to God be the glory.
We had extra, even after that.
He supported us, and it was a success. Number one, we said the challenge of job, God proved himself. Number two, distance. It was not an easy one.
Okay, so
traveling, and then the financial part.
Okay, so that distance, I want to just quickly chip in that it was long distance, and what we used to keep ourselves, like, make the relationship lively and not boring, was that we just engaged ourselves in a lot of useful, important discussions, asking about our futures. So future, we know a lot of things about ourselves. Like, we know a lot of things. We have
Nothing is
hidden.
Nothing
we have
hidden.
Every question,
either being a guy or being a lady.
Nothing about being a guy, about families, about everything, about his friends. I know everything. So yeah, those were the things we used to keep ourselves busy, and we're always challenging ourselves with the spiritual aspect to prayers, Bible study, like Bible reading now on your own, a lot of things. So these were the things we used to cover up for that long distance. That didn't make it boring, and didn't make it that made it enjoyable too.
Yeah, that's it. We really enjoyed ourselves, and we gave God the glory.
Okay, so for the challenges we faced after we got married, although we are new into it, is that understanding each other. You know, after we got married, I got to understand, or maybe we got to understand, that speaking to each other on phone, expressing all the love, is actually different from living with the person under the same roof. There are a lot of ideologies, there are a lot of things that are just different from each other. The way I want to do my things, or the way I've been doing my things, you discover that that's not the way he does it.
I don't like my things to be touched.
He created some kind of misunderstanding that we just have to sometimes argue over it before we now disagree to agree later on. So understanding each other in that part was a big challenge for us, and we are not even over it.
I think one of those two is the what's it called, the knowing each other carnally too. It wasn't easy, and because we're not experienced, both married as God created us, and we had to go for counseling again.
We went for counseling.
Counseling afterwards. In fact, we are even still going through another counseling. So to understand and all that, and of course it took us days, maybe I think between 7 and 10 days before we could have a success, at least a success.
Like
before we could, but it took us, I think, another 7 days, last 14 days before we had the perfect success and all that. So it wasn't easy at first, but you also have to understand. And then we bear with each other and all that. Then
I think the other challenges that we faced is that, when we got married, there are some physical challenges, maybe in where we are about our jobs, that we got to know after we got married, like the distance, combining it with other activities, church, a lot of things. A lot of those things just kept coming up, and we had to just sit down again and start talking. And that's why the place of communication is very important, because at some points one might be overwhelmed, like, it just looks like equaling task that you don't even know how to go about it. But then communication, talking to each other when you are tired, you communicate. Is okay. Like for instance, now when we came to take this our apartment, we took it because one of the reasons was that there was going to be regular light in that area. And you know that the week we got married was the week they took the light. And in fact, this is even the week they brought the light. That's 4 months ago.
Yeah.
So many things had to change. Our finances that affected us because unplanned we had to get a generator compulsorily because we don't even have a well in this place. So
even the time we tried to, it was not easy because we're not used to it.
To be fetching water
fact,
for
I remember
like 4th, 5th house.
She was complaining. I even say I could not even take it again. I think the second day or third day I just have to go and get some to start.
Like those things. And if it was not that both of us we communicated it to each other, you know, there are some people that will feel like, okay, like the man, I might just feel like, get me my food anyhow you want to do it, get me my food and let me just eat. And people used to say again that is it food is the way to a man's heart. As a lady too, you will not want to deny him of that kind of thing, so you want to go extra mile, and that extra mile will be stressing you. So it took us communication and understanding to be able to resolve that thing, come to a consensus that okay, let's just get this to ease us of a lot of things. So yeah, those things came up when we discovered about the distance of this place to our places of work, because when we took this place again we thought it was close, but when we started going we knew that come on it was not as close as we thought. And so tiredness, we just had to talk about it and look for other ways to do some chores so that it will not affect our relationship with each other.
Yeah, I think above all, in the area of communication and not knowing each other, one thing we try to focus on is the what's it called? The assets we have as partners. Okay, what she has as an asset, the good part of her, the good quality that she has, which as an individual we must see it above the deficiency. I saw that in her, I see that in her, and she sees that same way in me, and I think it has been helping us too. So generally, to the people intending couples and the younger ones, so to say, I think our first advice is knowing God.
Yeah.
That's the first thing, because all this journey was made possible by God. So knowing God, then not just knowing God, doing what God wants us to do, keeping the body undefiled. To those in courtship already, challenges will definitely come, but the God that has led you together will actually pave way for you. We carried God along, even in our minutest challenge, and he has proven to be God, honestly speaking. And then getting married, there will be challenges, no doubt, but he that has given you the charge will definitely give you the courage and the power to overcome those challenges. I think from my side, that's what I can say. Any other?
Okay, for me, I want to say that it was after I got married that I got to understand that just very, very tiny bit of things are what can separate a home if care is not taken. Because you know, there are times that due to you know, I like I said earlier, when you are living under the same roof, it's different from when you are calling on the phone. So you are going to see into each other, everything as it is. Nobody can hide again, even though we are just few months and so many things are unveiling by the day. So just prepare your mind
for the worst.
For the worst. Because you're going to
should not be too
so
high.
Many things that you will now be like, I thought this person said.
Be ready and willing to learn
I thought
and
this
unlearn.
person said this. So yeah, willingness to
learn and unlearn
as you go on. And because of what you see, don't just make a decision that maybe this is how terrible marriage is, let me just go away. No, that's not the point to start making decisions to go away. And that's why so many marriages, they just came together in a few days. They are planning.
I think I remember one now. The place of adjustment. I remember when I first got married, I told her I don't like hot food. Okay. She eats her food hot. I don't like hot food. I like it cold. So what should we do? Okay, let's come in between. You that like hot, you have to make it warm. So that's what we do. So I remember it actually cost a 5. Yeah. So I said, come and eat. I said I'm not sitting that it's hot. So she started eating. As she finished eating, I said, okay, let me come and eat. And she wasn't happy with it.
Yeah.
So we have to just talk about it again.
Yeah.
So that's just it. Place of adjustment. I
Yeah.
think for now.
So that's what we have for you.
Thank you very much
for having us. We remain Mary Adegbola and
Bidemi Adegbola.